So let's get straight to it. Who am I? What do I invest in? And why do I invest? Well, my name's Future Investments and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm 27 years old. I live in England, the United Kingdom. I'm a British citizen and my passion, my hobby is investing. I can't get enough of it. I absolutely love it. The more I learn, the more I get addicted. I'm a YouTube content creator. My YouTube channel is Future Investments. I talk about things from saving money, how to invest in precious metals, how to make your money work for you. I really love the hobby that is investing and bettering my financial knowledge. My experience, well, what is that? Well, I'm self-taught at the end of the day. I grew up in a public school, and I think most of you experienced investors watching this will know that when you grow up in a public school, at least in the United Kingdom, normally you're taught to become a saver, not an investor, and you're taught to become an employee, not an employer. So I've had to find my own way and build my own financial knowledge on how to invest and what to do with my money. I was always relatively good at budgeting and saving money, but that doesn't actually necessarily mean you're good with money. So I've researched a lot. I've read an awful lot of books such as How to Own the World by Andrew Craig and Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And recently I've just started The Compound Effect. So I think that's a pretty simple breakdown of who I am. So let's move on to what I invest. Okay, so I consider myself as a relatively diversified investor. I invest in commodities such as gold bullion, silver bullion, index funds, premium bonds, property, crypto, and stocks. So let's go back a tiny bit and let's break down each of those categories and why I invest in those specific categories. So gold bullion, of course, I think most of you will know it's probably the best wealth preservation device there is, and it's one of the best hedges against inflation. I love gold because I consider it to be the safest investment and asset in my portfolio holding. It was the very first delving into of investment that I ever made, so I feel quite loyal to gold, the yellow metal. I traditionally really only invest these days in quarter ounce bullion because I really love the value to weight that I can purchase. I feel like it's a really happy medium of getting a nice value of precious metals, 7.7 grams of a quarter ounce, but you're also not getting too stung on the premiums like you might do with, say, 1 gram gold bars. I have got a mixed range of gold, but that's where I've built up experience and buying throughout the years. So moving on, index funds. I absolutely love index funds. For me, they're a really fun way of building and accumulating wealth. Now, I have multiple index funds. I have the S&P 500 and the FTSE 100. So I've got the United States economy and the UK economy. I am looking to increase my fund holdings, but for now, I'm pretty comfortable with those allocations. I love index funds because I feel like it's a really great way of building wealth over a long-term plan. And you can use the compound effect to really increase that capital. As you know, you can invest on a dollar cost averaging basis, which is a really good way of getting a best price over a long-term period. And then the beauty of the compound interest that happens in those index funds is the interest, as I've got it set on accumulating, gets reinvested. So essentially, not only am I making money off of the money I've invested, but I'm making money off of the free money that I've made from interest, and then it's just a spiraling effect. So I absolutely love index funds. Moving on, I own premium bonds. Premium bonds is a UK-based government-backed savings facility, essentially. It's a really fun way of saving money with no risk. You're guaranteed up to £50,000. That's the most you can have in your premium bonds. And instead of gaining interest, every single month, the government will do draws. And you can win anything from £25 all the way up to £1 million. And every month, 2 people will win £1 million. It's a very, very fun way of saving money and checking your results checker every single month. The average is that if you have £24,000 to 1, you're supposed to win once a month on paper. But of course, it doesn't always work that way. But I will say from experience, the more money you've got in there, the more often you win. I also own property, I own my own house, and I'm currently saving up for my very first buy-to-let investment rental to create some passive income for me. That's a big focus for myself going forward on my investment plan. I also hold crypto, the specific coin Bitcoin. The reason I have that is pretty much my entire portfolio is on a safe long-term investment. So I really felt the need to add something a lot more risky. And I do consider Bitcoin to be a bit more high risk, to be fair. I don't know an awful lot about it, so I've set an allocation of money into that Bitcoin on a set and forget strategy. And the simple mindset behind that is I would rather invest X amount into Bitcoin and lose it than not invest in it and it to potentially go up 5x or 10x on my money in the next few years. And I've invested an amount that I'm comfortable with losing. So I think that's very important to mention. And finally, I've got a couple of stocks. I'm not a big holder of stocks. I prefer to invest a lot more capital into, say, my index funds and premium bonds, but I do hold a couple of individual stocks, which I believe are a good long-term hold. So that is what my investments are. But more importantly, why do I invest? Why am I so passionate about having a diversified portfolio? Well, for me, I'm lucky enough to have a fair amount of time on my side, hopefully, being 27. So I'm implementing a long-term, low-risk plan for an early retirement. My essential end goal is to be able to retire at 50 years old. If I can do so before then, I'll be very, very pleased. But my set goal is to retire at 50. I am hoping to have a portfolio of at least £1 million by the time I reach 50 years old, and that may seem like an astronomically high figure, but when you look at the average annual yield return on, say, the S&P 500 on the index fund, an investment from about 27 years old to 50, you can invest about £650 a month, and based on that estimated return, net yield of around £1 million. So for me, the reason why I invest is not only because I believe it's a really essential plan to creating a good and stress-free life, but I want to be able to retire early and enjoy the benefits that life can give you. I also want to be able to have the financial freedom to help my friends and family, and in the meantime, if I can have some fun and enjoy my hobbies as well, then that's a bonus. Essentially, I'm self-taught, and yeah, that's exactly why I invest. I don't want to be working up to the UK's retirement age of 67. I want to retire early and enjoy the freedom that life offers. Some points I'd like to mention is I try to live my lifestyle on a realistic wage style. And a slogan that I like to use often is try not to live a champagne lifestyle on a lemonade wage. I feel like a lot of people want to invest, but they don't have the capital. And sometimes that's because they're living on a lifestyle that's maybe slightly out of their means. Of course, I am in a fortunate position, but there are people out there who aren't lucky enough to be in a position where I am. So not everybody is in that same category, but I try myself to keep myself on track by not living higher than I can afford. I'd like to mention gold again because we are predominantly on a gold channel. I absolutely love it. It's the bread and butter of my portfolio, essentially. I do love the fact that gold averagely goes up around 10% every year. When we adjust that for inflation, we're looking at around 7%. Of course, these figures can change quite dramatically through the price change and data year by year on gold, but I really do love gold as a wealth preservation and hedge against inflation. Second for me, it has to be my index funds. I love how it's such an easy way of building wealth on pretty much a set and forget strategy. Also, something very important is networking. I love networking with the YouTube community. I've made so many friends. It's crazy how big YouTube is, but how tight and how friendly the investment community is. In the United Kingdom, there's quite a tabooness around talking about money and investments. So it's really nice to be in a niche network where people enjoy talking about the same topic. So that's who, what, and why regarding me as future investments. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the very next episode. Bye-bye. Well, what can I say? You've watched all the way till the end of the video. That must mean you are a very, very big future investments fan. Thank you so much for your valuable time. I really do appreciate it. I just want to take this moment to briefly tell you about some extra content that you can enjoy, if you really are somebody who enjoys the channel that much, then consider becoming a channel member, because not only do you get priority reply to your comments, you get exclusive behind the scenes and extra content. Your YouTube channels also get linked in every single video description, and you get automatic entry every single month into awesome prize giveaways. And that includes gold and silver bullion, precious metals accessories, and other awesome prizes as well. So have a look, see if it's for you. And if you're already someone who really enjoys my content here on Future Investments, it may be something for you.